Hello and welcome to lesson 1. So, here we start journey towards being a pro trader. If you are absolutely new or have just stepped in stock market, this lesson and the next few lessons are very important to you. However, if you are already experienced and know a bit about trading, you can consider skipping the first few lessons. So, without wasting much time, let's get started. The first lesson is about introduction to stock markets. In this lesson, we will not jump on how to buy, where to buy, what to buy, but rather we would talk about what is stock market, how it is established, and what are the rules, as they say, or what is important than how. So let's focus on what is stock markets. To begin with, I would take you through a hypothetical journey. A journey that shows the need of stock market and how it helps boost economy of the nation. And then we will connect it to today's market condition. You might have often heard people saying stock market is backbone of the country. We will answer why they say so, why you should invest in stock markets and how it is established and how it all began in India. So, let's start our hypothetical story. So, if you recall your history lessons, you might have heard that back in the time when there was no bank or no institution, financial institution to monitor the flow of money, there were a lot of rich people and there were a lot of poor people. Rich became richer by lending money to poor people, and poor stayed poor because they used to take a lot of loan from rich people who used to abruptly charge random rate of interest, and sometimes poor people were unable to pay, forget about principal, they were unable to even pay interest, because of which poor used to stay poor. The creativity or entrepreneurial spirit was not encouraged. Now I'll tell you what does this mean. Basically, if I want to start my entrepreneurial journey and if I am from poor section of society, I can never start my venture or my business, because to start a business I would need a good amount of money. And if I am having an entrepreneurial idea and if I am a rich person, then I would think rather than doing all of this drama, all of this business, I can just lend my money to poor people and poor people will work for me and I'll make money. So neither rich wanted to create a business or an empire, nor poor people could start their entrepreneurial journey, because of which the entrepreneurial spirit was not encouraged back in those times. Now let us consider in all of this situation in India, let us say there were a lot of poor people and there were a lot of rich people. Let us say there was one middle class family and the owner of that family had a small shop, or the head of the family had a small shop, a small spice shop. He used to sell masala or spices like turmeric, chili powder, garam masala. Now, the beauty of this shop, or the best part about this shop, was he used to sell the spices at a very reasonable rate. Now, in his shop, he used to work all alone. He did not have capacity to hire more employees. So, he used to wake up early in the morning. He used to go to jungles, bring all the herbs and spices, come home, grind them, pack them, and then open his shop and sell it to his customer. Now, customers started liking his product because it was cheap, it was fresh, and it was very healthy. So more and more people started buying spices from him. So more and more people started buying spices from him, and the demand for the spices increased. Now to fulfill this demand, he worked even harder. He used to get up even more earlier, go to jungle, bring a lot of quantity of herbs, mix them, grind them, and then he used to open his shop, stay late till in his shop and sell his spices. Now slowly the demand increased to such an extent that he was unable to fulfill. He wanted to hire a lot of employees, he wanted to expand his business, but he did not want to take money from money lenders because of huge rate of interest. So what does he do? Suddenly he gets an idea. And the idea is ask customer for the money. Now instead of asking money lender to lend such a big amount of money, he wanted to ask all of his customer to donate something to him as a courtesy or as a gesture. He wanted to ask his customer to donate something for him. So what did he do? He just put a notice board in front of his shop wherein he mentioned that a request to all my customers, if you like my spices, do donate me some more amount. I want to grow my business, and if I will make profits, I will repay you accordingly or proportionately the profit that I'm going to make. Now, this was a very, very interesting notice. Now, this was happening for the first time that a poor section of society or any section of society need not work, money will work for them. Now, prior to this, if you had a business, then you have to invest your money and you have to work hard to grow money. Or if you're an employee, you have to work hard for money. So, irrespective of whether you own a business or you're working as an employee, you cannot sit idle and make money work for you. However, in this particular situation, where the spice shop owner said, just give me money, I will work hard, and if I will make money, I'll make sure everyone else is getting money. Now, this was happening for the first time that you as a user have to just put in your money and forget it, and the owner of the shop will invest, or the owner of the shop will work hard and he will make money for you. So people really liked the idea and they started donating according to their capacity. Some people gave 10 rupees, some people gave 100 rupees, some people even gave 1000 rupees. And slowly, in a village, he collected money from his customers. So the first step was that he started collecting money. Customers started donating or investing money courtesy of his goodwill. Now, once he collected the money, he used it to expand his business. He hired few more employees. He sent them to jungle to bring spices. He now could pack a lot more packets of spices, and he could sell them not only in his village but in the neighboring villages as well. So he grew big, he collected money, invested, and business expanded. Now, because of his business expansion, he was also indirectly serving the economy of his village. He hired few employees. Now those employees were also from poor section of society. Now they got employment, they started making money, because of which those employee family, the family of those employees also experienced a good lifestyle. Right? So serving economy means people get employed and shop becomes a company. Now a small shop now became a big company where there were a lot of employees. He hired few vehicles to transport spices from his village to neighboring village also. So within a matter of time, his shop became a good company where he was able to sell spices not only in his village but also in his neighboring villages. Now, as he started making money, the profit that he used to make, he used to redistribute among the investors or the customers who had donated him money. Those who donated 10 rupees got accordingly the profits. Those who gave 1000 rupees got profits accordingly. Now, because people were getting money without doing anything, their lifestyles also upgraded. Now, slowly, because of the upgradation of the lifestyle, now the entire village kind of started making money because of this one business. Because a lot of customers used to get money, the business grew, the people grew, more and more people got employed, and a small village became a developed city. So underdeveloped village became the biggest city of the nation. So isn't it fascinating that a small village could become one of the biggest city just by helping the business of that village grow by contributing to that village? Now imagine if there are a lot of such business and we as a citizen of the country start donating or start investing into those business, and if those business prospers, we eventually make money and our country also progresses. Now this is the reason why we say stock market is called as a backbone of the country. Why? Because on stock markets, a lot of companies who want to grow big ask the citizens of the nation the money, and we as an investor, we check whether a company is good or not, and if it is good or if it is attractive, we invest into that company. And when that company grows, we as an investor grows, and company hires more and more people, so a lot of people get employed also. So it's a complete circle where we are helping ourselves to grow, and eventually the country is also growing. Now coming back to the reality, leaving the hypothetical story behind, let us try to understand how and when was actual stock exchange formed. Now actual stock exchange story is also quite similar to my hypothetical story. The actual stock exchange was established in 1602 1602 by Dutch East India Company, and they issued first share on Amsterdam Stock Exchange. Now how did they do this? I'll try to explain you. East India Company needed investment for ships to sail across countries to bring spices. Yes, so East India Company also used to sell spices just like our hypothetical story, and they needed to invest for ships. Now these East India Company used to bring spices from across the world. They used to send their sailors to go to different parts of the world, bring precious spices to their country, and then they used to sell these spices at a very big at a very good prices, so that they had an amazing profits. So to make more profits, they wanted to take more ships. They wanted to basically invest into ships and then send the sailors in more quantity, because the process was so dangerous that a lot of time the sailors used to go but never return. They used to get lost, or there used to be some tragedy with those sailors, and because of which the risk was too high, and because of which the risk was too high, and East India Company wanted to increase the probability of their business, so because of which they wanted to have more ships. Now one fine day, when the company East India Companies had a directors meeting, few of them had a discussion, and then they came up with a point or a thought process that why not ask public the money. So they announced openly that anyone who wants to invest into East India Company can buy shares of East India Company, and when the profits of the East India Company will grow, the investors will get returns accordingly. So a lot of citizens bought East India Company's shares, and that is how the first exchange or first transaction of company issuing its shares started. Now shareholders started trading these shares, and hence exchange came into existence. So those who bought the shares from East India Company, when the prices were attractive, they used to sell it to some other shareholder, and that is how shares started exchanging physically, which demanded for an exchange or a governing body, because of which an exchange came into existence, and that is how actual first exchange was formed. Now if we talk about Indian market, how and when was Indian Stock Exchange formed? We'll talk about that, but before that, I want to tell you that there are a lot of exchanges in India. There is Kolkata Stock Exchange, Madras Stock Exchange, there was Bangalore Stock Exchange, which is recently shut down, and our two most popular stock exchanges, that is Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange. These are the two major exchanges where most of the trading in India is done. So BSE was established on 9th July 1875 by Premchand Roychand in Mumbai, and is the oldest stock exchange not only in India but also in Asia. Whereas NSE is relatively new. NSE is established in Mumbai in 1994. So BSE is comparatively older than NSE. Now SEBI, the Security Exchange Board of India, regulates both NSE and BSE. So we need a governing body which also manages this exchange, and that body is called as SEBI, the Security Exchange Board of India. Now SEBI is a working arm of RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. Currently the trading time on both the exchange is from 9:15 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., that is, and Monday to Friday. So if you want to invest or trade into Indian stock markets, and preferably if you are going for NSE or BSE, then you will have to place your orders from Monday to Friday between 9:15 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. You can also place your order starting from 9 a.m. that is called as pre-market. We'll talk about it in much deeper after a while in the upcoming lessons. However, to start with, you can understand that the Indian market timing is from 9:15 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So that is how Indian stock exchange were established. So this was a first basic introduction lesson. We did not discuss anything major. We just explained you why you should invest into stock market and why stock markets are called as backbone of the country. Now remember that stock markets are called as backbone of the country. That is why they are not a gambling platform. An investor has a huge potential to make money in this market, which we will discover in our upcoming lessons. So what are our next lessons consisting of? In the next lesson, we will basically talk about how are stock listed onto these exchanges, that is NSE and BSE. What are the topics that we are going to discuss here? Who applies for listing on exchange? How can company in India apply to issue its share to public? What is IPO? You might have heard a lot of time that it is the investor is applying for IPO, or your friends or relatives have got IPO allotted to them. We will understand what IPO means and how a small startup makes its journey towards IPO. How share prices goes up and down. You might have wondered why share prices are going up and down. Who is taking them up? Who is taking them down? Well, it is demand and supply. We'll talk about that in detail in the next class again. What is dividend and bonus? This is again a way in which company distributes its profit. We'll talk about it in our upcoming lessons. And how to invest in stocks. To invest in stocks, you need to have a Demat account or a trading account. To get started about investing, we'll explain you in our upcoming classes. Thank you so much for watching this video. Spread knowledge cause it's free. And if you like our video and if you like this entire concept of us trying to teach you stock market from the scratch, do like, subscribe and share among your friends. Thank you so much and I'll see you in the next video.